evening, Stan. This is Bullish, your one-stop place for all things cargo hauling, commodity, and trading. If you can throw it in the back of a ship and sell it, we talk about it. I, of course, am your conductor of cargo, the hauler's hero, the sage of getting paid, Sandy Claus. We are broadcasting from our brand new SE Wealth Corporate Recording Studio on the 47th floor of the Waytech Tower, here in, you know it, Central Area 18. Tonight, we're going to take a look at Laranite and see if it's still complete and utter garbage as it has always been, or if some of the rumors I've heard lately that's gotten way better are accurate. Per the usual, we will break this down into current state, routes, and locations, along with our newly added Where to Stare segment during our routes portion. So, pour yourself a nice glass of B3 brandy, switch on your autopilot, and lean back as we help you grow your wallet.
Ready to embark on your next adventure? Ready to travel the universe at ludicrous speed? Look no further than ARCcorp, the premier quantum drive company. With our cutting-edge technology and reliable service, wherever you go, ARCcorp is there.
It's a crazy verse, you know that ARCcorp is there. Massive like our world, and you know that ARCcorp is there. Sail across the stars and up the possibilities. No matter how far, quantum reliability.
Okay, let's get into the reason you're listening. Cold, hard facts on Laranite. We'll compare the current state of Laranite, how it was in the past, and how it stacks up to some of the other commodities out there. Basically, titanium and beryl. Veteran listeners will know my complete disdain for Laranite in the past. And it was never so much about Laranite itself, because the numbers are just the numbers. They are what they are. What drove me insane was how many people out there were pushing Laranite as the best commodity out there for making credits when hauling. And it just wasn't factual. Not only did people push this crazy narrative, but that it was the most profitable, they also pushed that there was no reason to haul any other commodity out there on the market, and it wasn't accurate either. So I was surprised when recent rumors started floating around the local TDDs that people started saying that Laranite was good now. Better than before. Numbers from the past show the profit margin for Laranite it fell somewhere between like 8.8% and 13.7%. Granted, this is all in the past. After over I did about 20 runs of Laranite, I only hit those numbers once each, and the average profit margin I usually saw was around the 10% range. Still, you know our rule that anything under 15% is not really worth trading. Just not worth it. Laranite would also run about $1.9 million to fill up your C2 as well, which is quite pricey for such low margins. The most net profit I ever made off of Laranite was $186,000, with a majority of my nets kind of landing around the $134,000 spot. We can see why back then I was screaming into the mic to stop hauling Laranite and do titanium instead. The numbers were just there. But that's the past. We care about the now, and whether I will need to swallow my pride and admit Laranite is good now. The answer to this question, it's a both yes and no. In the back of our minds, we had to keep remembering and knowing the margins for titanium are at 32%. Laranite is now selling, drum roll please, between 15.2% and 20.6% profit margins. That's right, 15.2 and 20.6% profit margins, up from our 10% in the past. So yeah, Laranite has gotten significantly better. Those are decent margins. Not great, but they're definitely respectable margins. The investment cost for Laranite has also decreased, and now will run you about $1.7 million to fill up. It's not the discounted prices that we saw in titanium dropping to, but it's $200,000 less than you paid up front than you used to. So, I mean, I'll take it. Our net profits would have maxed out at just over $200,000 in the past. But now when I hit that 20% profit margin range on Laranite, I made $447,000 in profit. Yeah, over double what you used to see making Laranite. And at lower investment costs on top of that. The low end side of the profits, that 15% range, I still made over $309,000 in profit, so still way better. And the per SEU selling price has been between, I found 2,924 up to 3,114, and that being at Lorville mostly. This is a drastic range in profits and is distinctly dependent on buying at the cheapest place and selling at the highest place without care or regard for our RRTs or our POTs. Due to the high investment cost up front, we lumped this kind of really with our similar commodity as barrel. So it's probably better we compare barrel instead of Laranite, but we'll look at both too. Up till now, everything shows that I might be wrong and Laranite might actually be good. But let's pump the brakes a little bit. RRT and POT is where the wheels seem to come off on this commodity. We'll go over location information at the end, so I'm not going into those right now. But to maximize net profit, we had to sit at one location and grab it bit by bit as they restocked it. Our RRT for that 440,000 profit was 2 hours and 21 minutes. Yeah, I didn't misspeak there at all. 141 minutes of sitting in one spot. 2 hours, 21 minutes of just sitting at one place, filling bit by bit. Now I understand results may vary, but I can't see even if the stars seem to align getting anything less than 2 hours to fill up at, 2,468 per SEU price. I did find a way later on to cut that RRT in half, but that came at the expense of losing 25% of my profits. Instead of sitting at one spot, I hopped back and forth from Lathan to Besdick, and this cut my RRT down to 1 hour and 10 minutes. Still, 141 minutes and 70 minutes are just insane when we're used to seeing our routes under 30 minutes maximum. Now, when you look at that 447,000 profit, and it taking you 2.5 hours to get, not such a shiny credit anymore, is it? Especially when it cost me $200,000 less to fill up with barrel. Still sell it for over $300,000 in profit and do all that in 20 minutes? I can't see why Laranite's better than barrel. Now the big stat, POT, profit over time. With titanium, we are hitting at that nice 6,500 per minute mark. And when we also look at similar commodity barrel, we're blowing our milestones out of the water by hitting over 13,000 per minute in some of these runs. That's right, 13,000 credits per minute to run barrel. So how did Laranite stack up to that? Well, we ended up somewhere in between 3,100 and 4,500. That's right. Our POT for Laranite was 3,100 and 4,500 per minute. This means you can earn almost double the UEC per minute running titanium and over 3 times as much running barrel. This is why when you break down a run and use this POT stat, you can get a very accurate representation on the return on time. Yeah, on the surface, that kind of big number out to that 447,000 in profit is nice, but it's all smoke and mirrors when you actually dissect it and break it down. All right, when we come back, we're going to tap into the various Laranite routes out there, along with our brand new Where to Snare segment.
Looking for a great deal on a used Starship? Look no further than Otto's used ship shop on ArcCorp. Our expert team thoroughly inspects every ship we sell, so you can buy with confidence. Come check out our selection today and find your next adventure. Otto's used ship shop, where quality and affordability meet.
Welcome back. Let's jump straight into the routes. As with any commodity, we always want to know where can I buy it at its cheapest and where can I sell it at its highest. Sometimes I like to refer to this as our max net profit run. The max net profit run starts at 0.56 on Walla, where you can buy it for as low as 2,331 per SEU, and then sell it at Lorville for as high as 3,114. Currently, as of recording this, Lorville's price has dropped some from that 31.14 down to about 29.21, but it's still the best price out there. It's a simple run, but as we will see later on during the location segment, this route took me 2.5 hours to finish, and I'll explain why later on. It isn't the flight time, it's the restock times that will just kill you here. The run I prefer is actually aerial to Lorville. I say aerial because I hop back and forth from Latham to Besdick. The premise here is that while you are flying to the other facility and buying, the previous facility is restocking. By doing this, I was able to cut my RRT in half. The downside, of course, is the reduced net profit, as Latham and Besdick are the most expensive places to load up on Laranite, going for about $2,500 and $25,999 respectively each. You might be able to apply this same technique in ArcCorp by hopping between wallas at 056 and 045 before flying to Laurelville to sell. While I didn't try this, my gut tells me this will definitely reduce the RRT as well. I just can't tell you how much. This does, of course, increase our risk, as we can be attacked during the 3 to 4 hops required to fill up. But it's the best. Otherwise, you're just wasting so much time. These are really your only options for buying and selling Laranite in bulk. Now, if you're flying something like a small Hull A or Cutlass, you might want to take a look at Tram & Myers and selling an Orison, but this isn't a serious consideration for any ship that holds, the triple-digit SEUs. And I wouldn't recommend it at all, but it is out there if you enjoy beating your head against a console and want to just not make any money. All right, let's get into the fun one. Let's get into where to snare. There really isn't any place else to reasonably sell Laranite besides Laurelville, so that narrows it down a lot. Yes, you can sell an Area 18, but that's the worst place to sell Laranite, and there's no sense to ever going out to Orison or New Babbage to sell. The routes are just way out of left field. New Babbage and Orison, and they have lower prices too, so there's really no reason to go out there. That basically just leaves us Laurelville. And you can't snare people leaving aerial. Another reason why I buy there. Which means you gotta go back to the old school methods to catch those haulers out in the aerial and Hurston area. So that really boils us down to basically being left with just trying to catch the haulers leaving Walla. Which means we need to set up our snares, get ready, between 2,000 kilometers and 1.5 million kilometers from Hurston. That's it. Not a lot of options out there on both sides of this one. Whether you're trying to catch the haulers or you'd be in the hauler. So that's it. Sorry, it's a pretty quick and dirty, easy one. After the commercial break, we will break down the various buying and selling locations, and it'll kind of give you the backstory on why our RRTs were so high in some places, and why I think when you compare locations across Laranite and Beryl, you'll again, it's another reason why I think Laranite, no matter how great those high profit net profits were, it's just not worth doing over any extended period of time.
Come visit Orison, the breathtakingly beautiful city in the clouds of Crusader, with amazing accommodations such as Green Circle, innovative shopping at Strata's, cutting-edge entertainment at Voyager Bar, and fragrant cherry blossoms at Cloudview Centre. What's not to like? And don't forget our newest attraction, buggy track racing at Orison's Vision Centre. Orison, a trip worth taking.
Okay, welcome back. In total, there are 5 places you can load up on Laranite. However, Tram & Myers and Crusaders section has a very low inventory, and the restock isn't a viable one either. Tram & Myers only stocks 150 SU of Laranite at a time. And due to their small operations, they only restock 1 SCU. That's right, just 1. Like I said, it's trash, it's not an option, but it's out there, so we might as well just talk about it. The Walla locations, 045 and 056, are your cheapest places to purchase Laranite. As mentioned briefly in the previous segment, 056 sells at 2,331 per SCU, but has a very small inventory of just 500 SCU, and the next to worst restock rate of 5 SCU. Unless you stroll in there and somehow find it fully stocked, you're going to have to wait a while to fill up. The other Walla spot, 045, sells at the next lowest price of 2,414 per SCU. It also has a small 500 SCU inventory capacity, but has the highest restock rate anywhere out there at 20 SCU. So at least you'll fill it faster there eventually. In Hurston, Latham and Besdick both have the highest inventory capacity at 1,000 SCU each. They both restock at the same rate of 13 SCU. So, unfortunately, they have the worst selling prices though, where you have to purchase it at $2,500 and $2,599 per SCU. How does this all compare in the net profit? Well, if you somehow filled up only at 0.56 and sold at Lorville, you should, in theory, make about $410,000 at the current prices right now. Compared to if you filled up solely at Besdick and sold at Lorville, you would only make $224,000. Yeah, it's almost about $190K swing. It's a pretty big swing when you're looking at having to use $1.7 million to fill up your C2. So, as far as where to actually sell your Laranite, Lorville is the best place right now with a as a price of $2,921, and Area 18 is the worst, $2,795 per SU. New Babbage and Orison really aren't worth mentioning because there really isn't a reason to go out there and sell unless you don't mind increasing your RRT a lot and just pummeling your POT. Or if you're just really trying to avoid ever getting caught. Lorville and Area 18 both have the same inventory capacity of 5,000, a far cry from that, 30 to 35,000 capacities for barrel. The difference, however, are in the stock clearing rates. Area 18 frees up space at 50 SCU, while Lorville clears at 86 SCU. For listeners that operate in the gray areas, I've only seen Crew L5's beautiful Glen Station be willing to take those questionable crates of Laranite. However, their capacity is an abysmal 50 SCU, and it clears at 10 SCU rate. So you're going to be sitting there a while selling your stuff. It might be worth visiting Reclamation or Brios, but I haven't seen them take Laranite, and I haven't really checked, but it's worth looking into, especially if you can only sell 50 SCU at a time at Crew L5. So final thoughts on Laranite. Here we go. Is it better? Yes, way better than it used to be. Way higher margins and bigger net profits. Also, slightly cheaper upfront cost. The downside here is you make 3 times more per minute running barrel, or double running titanium. Route times are horrendous, and inventory capacities at both the selling and buying locations are 1/30th to 1/60th that of barrel. Plus, the locations basically force you to only sell at Lorville or Area 18, making you bigger targets. I say if you happen to be in the area, trading some other commodity, or you happen to see a Laranite for sale, go ahead and pick it up. But don't wait for it or seek it out. Just grab it if it happens to be there. Next time, we're going to change things up a bit and move away from breaking down commodities and explore an idea of, if I was going to start a hauling company today, where would I start it and why? We've also started, because it's our 20th episode, we're going to do a 2 million UEC giveaway. So on the bottom of your Mobileglass in the comment sections, if you leave your Discord name, and then along with the word Bullish, I will hit you up. Or you can contact me directly on Discord and just send me a message that says the word Bullish. And we're going to announce that winner on episode 21. So hopefully someone out there will win 2 million UEC, go buy themselves something nice. So thank you again for listening, and I will see you next time.